Jo, thank you so much for being here with us. It's an absolute pleasure to connect with you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Awesome. And so you're on the other side of the world, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I love that we get to connect this way. Now, how long have you been how long have you been part of TCI for?
It's about 2.5 years.
Wonderful.
And it's gone so quick.
Time goes really quick, doesn't it? I think especially when you're in it and you're loving it and you're learning, it's like, take me back to the beginning of your journey. What inspired you to become a coach?
So before I came over to Australia, I'd been given a coach. The company I was in, the board of directors all got given a coach because the CEO believed in coaching. Never heard of it before. Started these coaching sessions. And I remember just sitting opposite this woman going, I want to do what you do. This is really good. Hang on a minute. This is how, because I'd thought about looking at being a counsellor or something before, but hadn't figured out how, or it was such a shift and all the learning and stuff. But I was in a place where I went, I could do what you're doing. And so I signed up in the UK to do the course she did, and then got this opportunity to come and work in Australia. So I parked it. The opportunity to work in Australia, the job did not work out. And you happened to pop up on my computer while I was very miserable, scrolling through Facebook, wondering why I've moved to the other side of the world. And it was you.
As you do. That's just the standard thing that we do these days.
And I listened to, I think, one of your 3-hour webinars, and jumped on the phone at the opportunity to come to Foundations. And that's where it all began.
Amazing. So what was it about what we said or the message, or what was it that you resonated with?
The whole thing initially was finding being able to access my passion of working with people and understanding human behavior. It was something where I went, you're making me believe that this is actually now something I could do. And it felt like a very safe environment, and also an environment where I could be myself. I could just come and I was going to be supported, and it felt safe. And I was like, I was literally at a very low point. Obviously, I'd moved to the other side of the world, no family, no friends. The job was a disaster. All my confidence had been knocked completely out of me. Wow. And it was almost like, okay, here's another opportunity. Let's go again. And you made me feel very safe to do that.
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm glad that we did that for you. That's really wonderful. And it's a big deal to move to the other side of the world, fully commit to a new job, and then have that not work out. That's quite significant.
It was huge. Yeah.
When you found us and when you were in that moment, was it hard to make it like a new commitment to something because this last thing didn't work? Was there like a kind of like a hangover of, I don't know, like, will this work for me again, or should I be doing this, or was there something like that for you?
No, it's kind of become quite interesting in my life. I've been dealt, as a lot of people, a lot of blows. And I've always had the mindset that so for example, I've been through a divorce, a very nasty divorce. And straight away I was like, that's not going to ruin what I believe in love. That's not going to whoever I now meet, that's not going to ruin what I could have with somebody else. Awesome. And I think I've had that mindset my whole time, is I'm not going to let you or whatever happened to me stop me from keeping going forward. So I definitely didn't compare or think, the coaching must be this because this has happened to me.
Right.
It was close that chapter, new chapter. Here we go.
Epic. Great mindset. And that's a great takeaway for a lot of people watching is that just because we've been through different things in the past doesn't mean we need to allow that define our next decision. We just get to start again and let's give that next thing a go. So when you started coaching, did you know what type of thing you wanted to do or where you wanted to go with it? And the reason why I asked that is because earlier you said that you wanted to find something that allowed you to, and forgive me if I get the words wrong, but like express your passion for wanting to help people, to be able to really allow you to focus that energy. Did you know what you wanted to do, or was it more just like a sense that you wanted to make a difference?
It was just a sense. I did not have a clear plan or a direction. Wasn't even when I came to Foundations. I didn't even know that I'd end up running my own business.
Wow.
It was just a pull. It was a pull in me that I knew that this was the right thing.
Nice. And did you feel fear around that pull? I think I find that, yeah, okay, cool. I know for in my own life, I think when we listen, I'll speak for myself, when I listen to that part of me that says, this is the direction you should actually go in, and it's usually the thing that I'm excited about and usually the thing that I'm afraid of as well.
Yeah.
It's like there's a real pull there, and it's always got a little bit of fear around it.
Oh, yeah, massive fear. And I think when we've spoken before, I've shared that, I left school with pretty much no qualifications. I wasn't academic. And to then be starting, I think when I started, that would have been like 37, 38 with you, the idea of learning again and applying myself, or thinking and believing that I actually could do that because I'd never done it before. There was a fear of, am I good enough for this? Do I have the brain for that? I've got the passion, but have I got the ability to take this all in and commit to what needs to be done?
Yes.
Very quickly overcame that, but there was that fear. And the fear of not knowing anyone to start with, and the fear of the unknown. So yes, I think that was very normal. That it's exciting, but there is going to be a natural fear for something new.
So for you, what was bigger than the fear?
Bigger than the fear was living a life that I could look back and say that was a life worth living.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's bigger.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. Does that still drive you now?
Yeah. I don't know where it came from, but I've been fortunate. I'm very self-motivated and self-driven. It might have come from my dad passed in front of me when I was 18. So I think very young I learned that life's too short, that life can go like this, because it was a shock. It was just went. And I think from that moment on, I was like, and don't get me wrong, my life's not been perfect. I rebelled, I was naughty, but I've always had in the back of my mind, hang on a minute, life's so short. Just live as much as you can.
Awesome. It's a great message. Now, along your journey, over this 2-year journey, as you have tried out a whole bunch of different things, how's the journey of developing your coaching skill and finding what you're good at? Tell us a bit about that.
So developing practice. I remember when in foundations, Joe was telling us, right, we're going to do these triads. And I initially went, huh? What? Can't you just give me stuff I can do on my own? I can just figure this out on my own. Much easier. I'm a bit of an introvert. What? And it scared the life out of me doing these triads. And I remember I'd never done meditation before, and I started meditating when we did the triads, just calm my breathing. I could do this and practice. Awesome. And I just remember doing those, and for me, that was the moment I saw myself transforming, because I overcame so much fear of doing those and believing I could coach and help people and getting the feedback and the learning. I was like, I can do this. I put the work in and I commit and I show up. And I'd say for me, what's been transformational is having standards. When you and Sharon say, like, what are your standards? And one of the standards I adopted was show up 100%. And that's what I did for the triads. And I remember every triad having the intention and the standard to show up 100%. And that's where I was like, I can do this. And I started seeing the results. And then it just went from there. It was just getting all my pro bonos, making mistakes, learning from it, keep doing it, starting to ask my first paying client, can I have some money? Well, you said yes. Okay. Here we go. Now keep it. And because I was only in Australia for a short time, I decided to cram a lot of the training. So I just turned up to as many trainings as I could before I was going to go home. Because the time difference is quite tricky to do, especially like the live webinars and stuff for me. And I just committed. I just haven't given up that commitment. And that's how I've done it.
Congratulations. It's really awesome. And what a great story. It's a perfect example of what it is to be a coach, because it always starts off with, I don't know if I can do this. It's kind of like, what the hell have I got myself into? Is this even possible? And then we've all got to take that initial step and just start coaching, just start helping other people. And then in the course you have the mentoring and everything, and you have people help you out. And then eventually everyone gets to the same point where you go, I can do this. This is not just an idea anymore. This is a thing, and I can actually make this happen.
And then you go, I can do this, and I'm pretty good at it. Hang on a minute. When you start getting the feedback and you start getting referrals, my whole business has been referrals, and people start referring you to people, you're like, ooh, this is pretty cool. And you start seeing your testimonials, you know.
So tell us, what type of coaching are you doing, and what do you love the most about the work you're doing right now with people?
So I'm now a leadership coach, and just to make it clear, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I've only really bbeen said I'm a leadership coach for like 4 months. I've been a personal development coach. I've been a this coach, that coach. It doesn't matter. You'll find your thing. And I've now gone in and said it is a leadership coach. And what do I love? I absolutely love, part of me, I love the teaching side of it a lot. So I do a lot of educational coaching, a lot of group coaching, where I have all groups all together, and I do part educational, and then we go into more coaching and facilitation. I love that. And I love being on stage and teaching. And I do really enjoy the one-to-ones. My business isn't focused on building up lots of one-to-ones, but I do still enjoy them, because I think that's where you really hone your craft.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can see the real big transformations in those one-to-ones. So it's getting a balance. But I just love it when you see that moment for someone. They go, oh, I got it. And I'm like, oh, what'd you get? And they're like, I've just figured it out. And I'm like, wicked. That's where you go, oh, cool. There you go. Rock on.
Yeah, that's awesome. And are most of your clients in the UK, or do you have clients all around the world? Or
I have people in Europe. So I have part of my business as well is I go into companies and I do operational transformation and cultural work. So I have clients in Barcelona, Madrid. That's all parked a little bit because of the lockdown at the moment. But that's quite exciting. But my goal, I love all the ideal day work, because my ideal day is to live by the sea and to be able to work anywhere in the world. So what's been key is to know that ideal day, to make sure the decisions I'm making now get me there. So part of that work I was doing was meaning I was traveling all over Europe every other week, and it needed me to be in an office. So I'm now actually pivoting it's a buzzword, pivoting at the moment, isn't it? I'm pivoting my business now to be more online, so I can actually hit my ideal day. So the situation we are all in at the moment has actually accelerated my thinking to go, oh, hang on a minute, this is going to empower my decision making to get me there, rather than just keep saying yes to stuff that actually isn't taking me to where I want to go.
Yes.
So that's been really helpful.
That's awesome. I also really want to acknowledge the thinking that you've got, live your life now, get the most out of your life. I think that's a wonderful takeaway. What would you say to someone who is watching this, who's been inspired by what you've shared, and is considering joining our community and starting the coach education with us?
Do it. Literally, it has transformed my life. I've been running my own business for 2 years. I've met more people than I'd ever have met. I've expanded as a person. And I think the most joyful thing is I now know who I am. I really know who I am and what I'm capable of. And my relationships are so much deeper and meaningful. And I can't speak enough about, seriously, do it. Please, just do it.
Thank you so much, Jo. It's been a pleasure to have you with us.